All right, Scratchy is a super satisfying scratch card incremental game. Buy stacks of scratch-offs, unlock auto-scratching, and chase massive jackpots. Will you play it safe or go all in? This one came out 3 days ago, developed by Lunch Money Games and published by Fun Day Games. You can get the demo for free or you can buy it for $5.59, which is what I did. Let's scratch. Yes, that's fine. You can collect my data, game. Go be my guest. Well, they saved my progress, sort of. My auto scratcher is gone. You know, I should probably start over. Right? Do a reset? Okay. Okay. Day one, job one. Got to scrub to get your scratchies. I unlocked the trash can. Yeah, no birthday mode in this. Your cat likes the movement of the sponge, does he? Don't worry, once you start getting scratch tickets and managing your money, you usually don't have to do a lot more of this. And there's a 10% chance that I'll break this plate. There we go. Tired of your day job? I've got the perfect thing for you. Scratch off tickets. Yay! Oh, I need 10 bucks. Shit. Yeah, this is like scratch off tickets, but this is a guaranteed win. Well, not guaranteed. You still have a chance to lose 3 bucks. Fuck off, dude. Can't win every time. Sometimes you get a negative payoff, but don't worry, you can just throw it in the trash. We're almost there. We'll get 1 ticket after this. There we go. 2 win, let's go. Come on, symbols. Let's see what we got. Oh shit, we got 2 moons. Moon? Of course not. Oh, match 2. I just need 2. There, let's turn those sound effects down a little bit. Oh, the 2 is a payback. That's all. Yeah, because they're $10 each. Cash, cash, cash. No! Need a loan, huh? No worries. Let me send you the contract. No need to read the fine print. Just sign your name right there at the bottom. 6,000% interest. Need a loan, huh? God damn it, dude. Fuck. Oh, I can't draw a dick. I can't draw a dick or a vagina. I have to just scratch my name in it. Fuck. Great decision. By the way, our loans have a 6,000% interest rate. To make sure you pay it off, you'll get a random negative effect until the loan is paid off in full. You can view your loan info at the top right corner. So I got to get him $300 on 5. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. So I only make $2 per because I got to pay $1 to get a plate? Fuck this. The job is a gamble. Man, I could really use $50. Oh, your income is reduced by 10%. Cash money. Oh, cash money. That's $25 right there. $22. Wait, it's adding money though. What the fuck? It added $2. Moon. Okay, just a payback. Oh, I won what now? Oh, it was $25. Oh, yeah, okay. I thought I was getting 20 and getting $2, 10% extra. Okay, they took $3 off the top. There's the, yeah. What? Takes a while to scratch those, huh? Don't worry, I have just what you need. Upgrades. Yep. Yes, I want upgrades. Yes, please. Thank you. I really need, tin coin. Scratch size would be nice. $1. Moon. Oh, fuck, I lost money again. Moon, fuck. Wait, that was $12. Oh, the dollar amount went up. Oh, because of the level of the ticket. Right. That makes sense. Oh, stop giving me these fucking moons. Give me the bag. There you go. Bag. Fucking moon. Bag. No. Bag. There we go. Bag me. Oh, you fucking moons. Bag of money. Dollar. Either one would be good. Fuck. Yeah. That's a loser. Moon. Money. Dollar. Let's go. That's good. I really want that fucking coin scratch size. Okay. So I have enough for that. And one ticket. Dollar. Dollar. Yeah, let's go. The coin makes such a huge difference, man. Wow, we got a new ticket available for you. This one has way better prizes, but you might need some extra luck to win them. $100 mini scratchers. Yo, Tumpelo, thank you for the 46 months. Oh, hi, Bubba. Did you hear me? Did you hear Papa gambling? Come here, Bubs. Did you hear Papa gambling? You had to come in and check on him, make sure he's okay. Yeah. Had to make sure he's okay. All right, Bubba. Yeah, there you go, boy. Oh, yeah, kisses. Oh, yes. Kisses for Papa. Thank you. Oh, yes. My sweetest boy. Okay. Thanks, Bubba. You can change, oh, you can change the setting. Oh, wait, classic. Hover. Hover. Q while playing works too. Oh, I can just hold down Q. I see. Oh, Q just changes the mode automatically. Okay. Garbage. Moon. Moon. Bag. Bag! Oh, damn it. Okay. I'll take the cash. Bag, bag. Oh, bag! We did it! Let's go! All right, one mini scratch. Oh, I might. Yeah, you're right. I might. Do I get experience even if they're losers, don't I? All right, this one. Match 3 to win. We got a dollar bill. We got a bag. We got a pile of gold. Oh, we got a, oh, it's a purse. All right, this one's got to be a purse. Purse me. Fucking damn it. Money is in the upper left. I don't know if those give me, experience. I think the winners just give me experience. They do give me experience, but oh, the game name's in the way. Okay, hold on. There you go. No, I better not. I better not. I better just, get a bunch of these. There we go. Moon. Money. Money. Oh, yeah, money. Okay. I bet, yeah, let me get 2 of those. 2 of those big boys. Dollar. Change. Oh, shit. Fuck you. So, if I want to get the XP, I have to scratch it off completely if it's not a winner. Okay, let me look here. Will the green bar go up? It does. Fuck. Fucking, that's horse shit. Green. Okay. Come on, green. No! I hate losers! Not only because they're losers, but because you gotta scratch them all up if you want any experience. That's so stupid. No, I'm going to get more luck as soon as I can afford it. Again. Change, purse, change. Okay, good. At least this one's a winner. Well, a payback. Nope, that's a loss because it's 10%. That's right. Fucking dipshit loan guy is taking 10%. There we go. Bought some scratch luck. Oh, give it to me, and it immediately pays off. What? Getting tired of scratching all those tickets yourself? Unlock the scratch bot. $1,000 for scratch bot. Green. Oh, this is a bad start. What do we got here? Oh, another purse. I need another purse. Oh, you fucking cunts. All right. Purse. Change. Purse. Purse. Let's go. Finally, one of these fucking cards paid off. Money. Purse. Purse. Perspicacity, let's go. That's some change. That's a purse. That's a purse. That's some gold. Fuck, I need a purse. No, 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 no. Damn it.
Gambling and seek who would have thought.
We'll pay off the loan eventually. As soon as we get a good scratcher here. Oh no. Okay, good. Okay. That's a win. That's a W. Purse. Purse. Oh, look at that. 3 purses. Beautiful. There. Loan is paid. No, I didn't lose 20 bucks. I just lost $20 off the 200 because it's 100 per, so I won 80. But now I'm not taking, now they're not taking 10%. Oh, give me that bag. Give me that bag. All right. Let's do scratch size one more time. Gold. Oh, come on. Give me the gold. You got to give it to me. Damn it. 0, fucking loser. Yeah, the scratch size really helps. Oh, that's a fucking loser. Okay. Cash money. Okay. It's the bag. Give me the bag. 260. Green. Green. Give me that green. That is a nice win there. When you scratch the apple tree, look out for worms. If you see a worm, don't scratch it. Worms only give negative payouts if they're fully scratched. And that's why we avoid any of these. With the negative payouts, fuck that shit. All right. How much are those? Those are 10, right? They're 10, okay. Okay. Bag. Give me the bag. Give me the bag. Bag. Oh, yeah, the bag. Oh, man, they're just treating me so nice. Look at all that bag. It's a 40% chance to get the bag now. Jesus. Fuck you. God damn it. Okay. Thanks. Oh, I can't win. Fucking perfect. There we go. Buy some more scratch luck. Gold, gold, gold. Yeah! Give me that jackpot. Money. Oh my God, the scratch bot coming in clutch. All right, we're gonna do one apple tree. Okay, that's a leaf. What is it? Okay, the worm looks like that. Okay, that's not a worm. That's not a worm. That is a bee. Oh, that's fucking right. I gotta get a better coin. Yeah, or else it won't work. How many? Oh, get money for each apple you uncover. Oh, so wait a minute. I got a red apple, so that means I get 2,000 bucks and 1,000.
Gamba.
Wow! Holy 4,000, dude. That was 2,000 profit there. Zippo, Zippo, 845. Let's do it. Oh, unlock the quick cash. Yo, DJ Pink with 9 months. Thank you, DJ Pink. All right, let's do. Yep, more luck, more luck, more luck. There, Scratchbot, you can have 3 of them. Gold, gold. Oh, fucking let's do this. Oh, you fucking prick. Ah, damn it. Yep. They're scratching fast now. Oh, fucking dick. There we go. Give me the gold. Give me the cash. There you go. You can have 2 more. There you go. What do we got? Nothing. Fucking do this. All right, apple tree. That's a B. That's fine. Okay. Good. 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 Oh, yeah, let's go. 6G. That looks like a flower. That's a leaf. That's nothing. Another leaf. 3 leaves. Yep. Wow, a 0 payout, huh? Gold. Gold again. That Scratchbot's doing really well. Wow, and the next coin is 200,000. Holy shit. Okay, Scratchbot's capacity is doubled now. So I can give him 6 tickets. Oh man, this shit's easy. Making money is easy. Like I said, look at that, easy peasy. Green apple. Okay. No. That's a G. Whoa. That's red. That's a green. Yellow. Oh, pink. There we go. We gotta stay away from that, dude. Okay. Okay. This guy. B's give me nothing. B's give me nothing. B's. Wow, 4 B's and I still get nothing? Nothing. Lost a G on that one. All right, quick cash. Let's go. All right. Our first $10,000 ticket. Got some money. Match 3 to win. Got a moon. Another moon. Money. Okay, we get our money back. Okay. Oh, these are hard to scratch, man. Need a better coin if I'm gonna do any more quick cash. Fuck, these take a long time. Ugh, that's a pain in the ass. All right, let's see what we got. That's a win. That's a win. That's a win. That's a fucking win. That's a fucking win. Fucking stacks on stacks. Man, I really need that aluminum coin. All right, we'll let you do it. Here, you do that one. Yeah, it's gonna take you forever. Worm. Whoa, that was close. Well, okay. Oh, fuck, dude. Come on. That's it? Come on, Apple Tree. You're better than this. Worm. Don't uncover more of that. Apple. Whoa, 2 worms. Jesus. What? We have a new exciting product available for you. A special device that will make it way easier to feed your Scratchbot. A table fan. Just click and hold to blow tickets right into the Scratchbot. $50K, dude. Man, I really like a golden apple. Okay, let's see what you got. Well, that was certainly worth it. We'll let you do this one. And I'll just get... There we go. I don't know why this is... It's 50% to get the gold every time. It's crazy. That seems broken. Yeah, I played the demo of this, and now the game is fully released, so I'm playing the 1.0. And it's a lot, the prices are definitely different. Money, 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 money. Look at that. Have you played Dice a Million? I think I might have, yeah. That sounds familiar. Mike goes bananas with 9 months, thank you. God, 50,000 for the fucking fan. All right, let's up the speed a little bit. Woo! 40,000 win there. Let's go. So you literally just blow them in there. Have you played Dice Nuts? Oh, I would imagine that the fan gets automated later, yeah. Getting a 2,800 payback on my $100 is just like, it's great, but obviously like it's gonna be too slow eventually. In fact, it's almost too slow right now. I don't need to do that. It's faster. I just do it one at a time. All right, no worm, no worm. Oh my God, guys, come on, you fucking assholes. Give me that golden apple. It's only, oh, it's 1% for a golden apple. The percentage on these is fucking terrible. That's garbage. There, blow all those in there. Okay, let's see what we got. 10,000. Oh, that's just a replay. 28. Nice. 28 again. 25,000. Let's go. 743. 5,000. Oh, that's a loss. Corvus with 47. Thank you. The fan is great and all, but sometimes you might want to save tickets for later. That's what the sticky mat is for. Save tickets for later? All right, I bought the scratch luck. Money, money, money. 3,000 per now, 3,700 per, I mean. Holy shit, that's great. Prevent the fan from moving them, maybe? Yeah, the more you do it, the better your chances are. See, I have a 70% chance of just getting that much money, but it's quickly becoming not like a pittance. You know, it's 3,700, but to me, it's like pennies. Like, I've got a 70% chance to make a good amount of money on every one of these, but I can't scratch them fast enough to make it worthwhile. You know how that old like thought experiment about like, is it worth it for Bill Hicks to stop and pick up a $100 bill considering how much he makes per second? And the answer is no, he makes way more than $100 per second. Or at least used to. Did I say Bill Hicks? Bill Gates. Sorry, Bill Gates. Wrong guy. Yeah, the scratch size is really working for me. Nothing. 10,000, that's a payback. Payback again. Payback again, damn it. Blow them in there. All right. Oh, that's a payoff. Oh, is it? Yes, it is. Oh my God, it's a 65K payoff. Look at that. Well, unless it's a moon or some change, it's a dead. Yep, it's dead. If I don't scratch it off, I don't get the experience for it. There we go. Okay, I'll take one. Look at it, dipshit. Money, money. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay. So that one... A moon or a stack? Moon or a stack? Ugh, you fucking cunt. It makes these numbers, they go up. The winning numbers, winning percentages go up the more experience you have. There we go. Okay, that's 32. Okay. Oh, sorry. Experience affects payout, not percentages. Percentages from luck. Right. You're right. 65K. Let's go. Unlocked Lucky Cat. Oh, good. Another 65K. Go get him, bot. Wait, Lucky. Oh, Lucky Cat. The 300K. Oh my God. I should probably do. Oh, I should save up for an aluminum coin. Because this is taking way too long. All right, a moon or some change? Change, okay. That's a loss. Let's see. There. Scratchbot is getting upgraded. Getting upgraded and updated. One more.
Halfway there living as a gamer.
Okay. Okay. Have I checked out the Horripilant? I think someone suggested it. I might have passed on it for some reason. I don't know that I played it. Man, this game is addictive, huh? Time is just flying by. I wonder why. That's crazy. All right, I need some of these to be winners. All right, winner? No. There we go. That's a little better. That sucks. That's good. That's good. 92, that's what I'm talking about. 84, let's go. Another 84, 42. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. We are blocking this. Let's go, aluminum coin. Let's see how it works. Oh, yeah. It makes these a dream. All right, one lucky cat. You know what? No. We're going to up our luck first, and then we'll do a lucky cat. $109. 164. Jesus. All right, lucky cat, here we come. All right, watch out for fish bones. Oh, fuck. Minus 500,000 if you get a fish bone. Okay, that's fine. That's bad. That's fine. Oh, is there only one symbol in the middle? Okay. That's just zero. Hey, there we go. We got a payback. We got our money back. We can do better. Come on now. Come on now, lucky cat. That's a bone. Pink. Bone again? Oh, this sucks. That's 200K down the shitter. Fuck. I got fish boned. Oh, shit. There. Whoa! 220. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, we are fucking 1.56 million. All right, good. Oh, 100 million for a copper coin. Wow. Wow. All right, scratch luck. Good. Terrible. That's a bone. That's good. Another bone. Fuck, that's another 100K fucking loss. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's good. That's 200. That's no good. That's no good. Oh, fuck it. Another 100K loss. Diamond jackpot 2.2 million. There. Good, okay. Okay. No good. Oh! Rotten bastard. Man, those lucky cats are not treating me well at all, bro. Diamond? Oh. Okay. Oh, fan speed. Oh, let's get some fan speed. Why not? Oh, another Jackie with a fucking... Oh, it's 35% for a Jackie. Wow. Just jackpots fucking galore here. I'm just jacking it. Oh my God, a fucking loser? A fucking losing ticket? That's not normal. Well, fuck. A payback again. That's a fishbone. Ugh, losing 100,000 again. Yep. Oh my God, and just breaking even. Lucky cat, my fucking fat ass. Diamonds, let's go diamond. Oh, okay, that's fine. Jesus Christ. The bot has better luck than I do. How do I unlock the last ticket though? Oh, 50 million. Oh, okay. I gotta have 50 million in my... Okay, I didn't realize that. All right. There, black paw print. Black paw print. Oh, wow, that's 5 million right there. Oh, this is a good ticket. Finally, a decent fucking lucky cat ticket. Jesus. You know what? I'm gonna gamble. Oddly enough, I'm gonna gamble, and I'm gonna take the fish losses, whatever they are. What's this? Oh, it was because I got the star. Okay. Unlocked final chance. 50 million per ticket. Okay, that's a win. Oh, finally level 1 on the Lucky Cat. All right, let's see. What the fuck? Why is it minus so much? Zero. Oh, because it leveled up. Oh, okay. It increases the fucking, okay. Wow. Big bonus. Oh, super jackpot 650. Woo! Holy shit burgers. Wow. That ended up being well worth, like, look, 720 million from scratchers. Okay, what does this do? Final chance to win everything. What? That looks like, do I die? All right, for science. Didn't work this time. We're going to need more luck. Let's start over. You clean up here. I'll get the new scratch-offs ready. Oh, so it's a roguelite. Okay. Oh, start with Scratchbot. Oh, that's fucking yes. What is this? Start with Big Sponge? Spend your tokens at the night market. Jackpot power. Or incremental, not roguelite. Yeah, right. Whatever. You know what I mean. Plus 1 JP on jackpots. Plus 25% on all tickets. Oh, I have JP. Oh, this one. Okay. Oh, this is, I get it automatically. These are just passives. Okay. What does the prestige mean? fuck? There we go. Okay. Oh, and you can respec. That's cool too, man. Oh, tickets, whatever those are. Scratchbot starts with more capacity, strength, and speed. This game is fucking diabolical. Jesus. It's so satisfying too. All right. God damn. This is gonna be a fun game. Hold on. How long have we played? Oh, we've only played for an hour. Let's take a pee. Let's take a pee and do one more run. We've only played for 1 hour. 1 hour. That's barely anything. It's barely any time. Let's play for one more run. All right. I hope you guys are having fun today. Thank you for being here. I'm just gonna go piss, and then we'll continue with our next run of Scratchy. Okie dokie. Welcome back. Thank you, Vendita, for the 50 months. Corvus with the 47, if I didn't say that already. Appreciate you guys. Okay. Let's play. Okay. So, I gotta do my day job. Fuck. Fucking god damn it. Oh. Is my sponge better? I didn't unlock Big Sponge, no. Oh, I did unlock the tool belt. The tool, it says start with the tin coin. Oh, that's the next upgrade. Okay. Yeah, honestly, for starting out, this is so nice. This is so nice. Because that took so long before. Yes, I really enjoyed Crimson Desert. It's a little jank. The controls and UI, you know, like everybody said, they're convoluted, but I'm looking forward to spending some time with it off stream, like just, you know, slow pace exploring, doing all that shit, but I'm not gonna play it on stream anymore. Yeah, you got a bigger sponge, but is he sponge worthy? That's a callback. Grades, okay. Oh, and I start off with a good coin too. Oh, you fucking prick. Of course. All right, you get 2. I'll take 1. Moons. Moons over my hammy. Wow, the Scratchbot starts out really fucking fast. Oh shit, we got the jackpot. Nice. Oh, how much is the fan? Oh, I can't do the fan yet. I haven't even unlocked the fan yet. Ugh. Ooh, that's a good one. 500 bucks. Fucking lame. That was a net loss. I need that. Oh, I need that goddamn tin coin. You can throw in the garbage if you don't want to scratch the losing ticket. No, scratching a losing ticket all the way through gives you experience, and I tested it. So if you throw it away, you get 0 experience. That's why losing tickets are a double fuck you. Because not only do you not get anything, but you also have to scratch out the whole fucking thing to get experience for it. Oh my God. Those were fucking terrible. Oh, I should get some luck. Yeah, I should have got some luck a while ago. I was being stupid. There we go. Okay. Now we got scratch luck. Oh, we're adding a sample to the board. What are we adding? Let's see. We're getting rid of... Oh no!
Oh, that's too big.
You know what? I am making an executive. I'm vetoing that one. That one's staying on the board for one more round.
お前はもう死んでいる。
All right.
Nani?
All right, Fist of the North Star, you're out. In place, we're gonna put this. Okay. Well.
And then I went to the toilet.
No.
A public toilet.
No.
It might be, I don't know, a poo or I don't know.
This one.
Hey, come on, let's go downstairs and gamble.
Hey, come on, let's go downstairs and gamble. That's fucking Fear and Loathing, right? Let's go downstairs and gamble.
Hey, come on, let's go downstairs and gamble.
Come on, let's go downstairs and gamble. All right. Let's gamble. Perfect. All right, that is B1 on the big board. There you be, B1. Let's save the profile. Saving. All righty, we're good. No, it's a fucking great movie. 53. Oh, these are on the little ones. That's nice. That's nice. Very good. Okay. All right. Feed the machine. Feed the machine. Must feed the beast. There's a jackpot. I mean, $100 jackpot, but jackpot nonetheless. Okay. Apple tree. Fuck you. I hate the one with negative. The ones with negatives are just terrible because you hate feeding them to the bot. Okay. 325. 325. 325. Let's go. Okay. We got, oh, tin coin. Yeah, we better do the tin coin. Fuck you, dude. Man, this is a far cry from what it was doing before. There you go. There you go. That's better. Okay, get that bag. Nothing. Get that bag. There you go. Luck. There we go. There's some gold. +2 JP. And that is a good question. Can I spend JP in the middle? No, I cannot. I have 0, so no. Give me that voodoo berry. All right, Celtic Knight. Here you go, buddy. Fat Catnip with 9 or 8 years. Thank you, Fat Catnip. Also, the Dwarf with 43. Oops, I should have got luck first. Fuck. Oh, I can get it now? There we go. Yep. Well, that sucked. All right, scratch luck. 5,000. God damn it. When do I get the fucking fan? I really like that fan. All right, just an apple. Yep, just an apple. Okay. Fuck. There's a jacker. There's a Jack Mehoff. Fucking lame sauce. Terrible. There's a red apple. Give me a fucking gold apple. You fucking prick. Wow. Jesus, that's terrible. Okay. Apple. Apple. Oh, that's a bee. That's a worm. Okay. Apple. Okay. 2 red apples. That's good. That's 5K. Apple. Bee. Worm. Fuck. All right. Give me the quick cash. Oh, come on. You can give me a double win. It's all right. You can give me moons and come on, green money. Oh, it's a stack. Shit. Oh, well. All right. That was 1,200. So at 50,000, I get the fan because I really want it. Because feeding this thing is tedious. There it is. Look at that. Perfect. And it is 50K itself. Perfect. All right. Well, great, grand, wonderful. $5,000. That's a loss. Oh, the symbol in the middle could save my ass. Something green. Anything green? Green. Oh, the stack of green. 50K. That's my fan right there. Fan. Oh, scratch luck. Oh, you can double win on the quick cash. That's, yeah. Did I fuck it up? I might have missed it. Two greens and a red. Oh, that's not bad. Red, red, red. That's a worm. We hate that. Two reds and a green is even better than two greens and a red. There we go. Blow them in there. There you go. How we doing? Yeah, yeah, money, money, money. I got money. Ooh, ooh, I got money. Oh, fucking zero. Now those are gonna take forever. Money, money, yes, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. Okay, capacity's up soon. Shit. There we go. All right, moon it is. That's a replay. Replay. Coins, coins, coins. Yeah, just coins. That's a loss. That's a loss. Coins again. Ah! Just coins. Another loss. Not a huge loss. But a loss is a loss. Oh. When I'm winning 4,000 each time I fucking scratch one of these guys, or 2 to 4, usually. Yeah, see? Let's go strength. So we can scratch off these guys quicker. Oh, there's a good one. 68K. 31K, let's go. Oh, shit. I should have fucking bought luck first. You use that Susan B for faster rubbing? Is that the best coin for scratching tickets? Is the Susan B. Anthony gold dollar? Oh wait, no, that's Sacagawea. Never mind. Susan B. is a it is a dollar though, right? Pretty sure. Oh, 80 thou. Oh, there we go. 121 thou. 80,000 again. Fuck yeah, let's go. All right, luck. Aluminum coin. Yeah, Susan B is silver dollar, right? Okay. Now give me a coin down here. Oh, that's a double winner. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Now give me the gold. Oh, you prick. All right. What are you going to put down here? Oh, yeah. Another win. Right, chow. Oh, there's a jack. Yeah, give me that Jackie. Oh, maybe that's not the jackpot. The diamonds seem like they might be the jackpot. Oh, that's a loss. Whatever. Yeah. Oh man, a loss, a losing ticket, a $0 ticket. Oh, bad. All right, Lucky Cat. Let's see what we got, Lucky Cat. Oh, there's a horror game on the list today. Bone. Boned. That's a $200,000 fucking loss. But you got to spend money to make money. Actually, it's only 75, so not that bad. Oh, it means I got the JP. The jackpot for that ticket is the star. Okay. So what you're saying is the diamond is the jackpot for this one. So I keep scratching until I get the jackpot for all the ones that I have. Because that's the meta currency that I spend later. Oh, diamond. I do have to get 3 diamonds, though. Okay. Oh, a loser. A loser. That's what you are, a loser. All right, let's see. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Come on. Give me those diamonds. Where's the diamond? Diamond? Oh, better get some more scratch luck. Get more capacity. There you go. There you go. Get that. Perfect. Get those guys in there. Bone. Bone! Jesus, come on. Every time I lose money on this. Why am I even doing this Lucky Cat bullshit? And there we go, the gold star. We got the Jackie. Now we just gotta not care about the fucking apple trees. We just get to the. Oh yeah, there we go. More scratch luck. There we go. Always get more scratch luck when you have time. Well, shit. Wow, that was a great one. We got the jackpot and everything. Swell. Now we don't have to buy the apple trees ever again. There you go, Scratchbot speed. Oh, that's good. That's good. Look at that. I got the jackpot on that guy too. I'm flying to Japan on Monday. Any tips from that trip you took? Are you going to Tokyo? Because Tokyo is not necessarily the same thing as Japan, if you get my drift. You're going to Osaka? Then, I mean, all I would have to say, like, to a first-time tourist is just, like, be as polite as you can, because they're really, like, that it's such a courteous place to be. Eat everything you can. Anything you can't get where you live, eat it. Try it, give it a shot. You might find, like, stuff that you're like, fuck, this didn't sound good. And it might end up being, like, amazing. Holy fucking shitballs. What? New exclusive scratch off. They're only available to our most loyal customers. They are a lot tougher than what you're used to. If you get stuck, you can always prestige to spend your JP. What the fuck is this? Sand dollars, 20 million. Let's try one of the 20 million cards. All right. There's no negatives though, so that's good. Find 3 treasures to win, 3 matches to win. And anything below a fucking wallet with money coming out of it is a loss. Gold ring is half of what I put in. There's a clam, we hate that. Wow. Fucking God. That was 20 million down the shitter. Thankfully, quick cash is paying off. Clams! Clam. I get 1 million back. You fucking scam artist bullshit piece of shit. I'd really like a star, is what I'd like. I mean, obviously. What are the chances now? 5%? That's not bad. I can handle that. Let's keep Lucky Catting it. What? With the badge collection, you can marvel at all that you've achieved and get a look at what's still available to achieve. There are even some rewards to collect. Unlocked badge collection. Okay, why does it say prestige 10? Because in the JP thing, it said... Oh, no. Because prestige was just restart. Oh, prestige with 10 JP points. Okay. Gotcha. Oh yeah, it's well worth it. Scratch luck going up. All right, sand dollars. I can afford 2 of you. Can I get a win, please? How about a billfold? That's just a regular old win. Oh, that's 50 million. Okay. All right. Well, we only lost 13. Oh, no, I got 2. Got 2 wins. Okay, so we're only down 11 million for that one. Oh, there's a billfold. That's a win. And some clams. Look at that, 31 million. All right, not bad. Would you throw it all away for Topanga? I'm not even sure what that is. I'm sorry to say. Oh, I didn't scratch the last clam? Oh, fuck, I missed it. Sorry. Oopsies. 22 million. Oh, yeah. Oh, the lucky cat. Lucky cat now paying off. Look at that. I'm in the hundreds of millions now. Okay. Billfold. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna get that. There we go. Give me the copper coin. The next coin up is 50 billion. Oh, scratch my back unlock 500 million. That's all it costs. 500 million for 1 ticket. No more washing dishes for me. Holy fuck, that was a big one. That was 4 of the golds. Oh shit, we got a star. Oh. Damn it. Damn it. Oh, I should have saved it. There we go. Yeah. Wow, exactly 391 million. Exactly. You only have 650K, you broke ass bitch. Ooh, that was a... Oh, that's not the jackpot. The jackpot is the necklace. Speed and capacity. $54 million. There we go. 72 million. 106. Damn, dude. Keep them going. Keep them going. Keep them going. Oh, badge collection. There we go. Oh. Oh, tickets. The ticket spending. Okay. Still have not gotten a jackpot on this guy yet. Okay. Oh, win a prize that is 10 times larger or 10,000 times larger than the ticket cost. Oh, crack 2 plates in a row. Get a jackpot on the first ticket you scratch. Wow. Okay. All right. No, I got the jackpot on Lucky Cat. I still need the jackpot on this guy though. That's 3 necklaces. What you got for me? Need some help collecting all of your Scratchbot winnings? Mundo can help with that, and she's cute too. Unlocked Mundo. Oh, so I don't even have to press collect on the fucking things? They just automate that? Oh, fuck. Oh, man. Why would I try the sticky mat, though? I don't even know what that's good for. Oh, 500 million. Okay, hold on. Yeah, that's all it does. Is it lets you save tickets. It's good so the fan doesn't blow into the machine. If you don't want high value cards, and you want to do it yourself. Yeah, but I'll just... Okay. I mean, the way around that, just buy the ones you want to scratch off yourself last. All right, feed the turtle. Its favorite food is jellyfish, but be careful because plastic bags look similar. Oh my God, they made the symbol exactly the fucking same. That's a plastic bag. Oh, I got 3 crabs though. I got, oh, it's 500 million. Oh, that's a loss. Yeah, that's a loss. Shit. $137. Come on. Give me those necklaces, baby. Wow, 268. That was a good one. Holy crap. Oh, I'm still not quite for the luck. Zeke, what's the chance of super jackpots on the really low value tickets now? 0.2%. All right, we're gonna have to move on from this game. I mean, not that I super want to, but like, I do want to check out some different games today. Oh, scratch my back. Let's go. All right, that's good. That's bag. Fish. That's another bag. Another bag. Fish. That's still a loss. That is still a loss. Sheesh. Those necklaces ain't popping, but hopefully they will now. I lucked up. Two necklaces. Well, we're getting closer. How much is it? What's the odds on a necklace now? 15%. So not terrible. Oh my God, look at that. It's a break even. Actually, 125 million gain. And this is a good gain. Look at that. Another good gain. There we go. We got the Jackie. Finally got the Jackie on the fucking sand dollars. Another Jackie. Wow, cool. Oh, Jesus. Look at these Jackies just popping. Wow. Oh. Okay, last thing we're going to scratch. We got a Snake Eyes. We'll scratch one of these. 10 billion per ticket. Okay. Match the amount of...
I jacked off
Whoa,
into my mouth. I
shit,
jacked off
fuck.
into my mouth. I jacked
damn
off
it.
into
We're
my
having a
mouth.
relaxing
I jacked
time.
off into my mouth. I guess we're gonna have to just sit here and listen
Spencer,
to
good lord.
how much I jack off into my own mouth for the next 5 minutes.
Jackies, Jackies, Jackies.
Okay. Thank you, Spencer, for the bucks. For the bucks. For the bits. All right. Match the amount of eyes with the dice, but avoid the ones. Okay, so we don't want ones. That's a one. Okay, that's a... Oh my God, this coin is fucking terrible for these. Okay. Oh, did we get fives? That's 40 billion. I think. Or not. You need one, oh. 2 2s, 3 3s, 4 4s. Oh my God, really? That's how this works? Oh, okay, so I would need another 5 to get 40 billion. No, the last one, it's a 1. Yeah, it's a 1. So I throw it away so I don't lose 2 billion, or I get the fucking, I take the 2 billion loss. Well, I can't afford a 2 billion loss. Okay. Looks like you've gotten yourself in a bit of money trouble. Don't worry, you can always just take a loan. We actually offer the perfect one for you if you ever need it. Just call me and I'll send you the contract. Oh, wow. So I am, yeah, 2.36 in the hole. That's funny. That's a lot of dishes. That is a lot of dishes. Need a loan, huh? No worries, let me send you the contract. I can just prestige out of it and take my 16 JPs for the next round. That's cool. All right. That's a fucking, that's a hell of a game, dude. My eyes are hurting me.